I've been looking forward to this preseason because I love seeing the development of this team. And I'm the nutbag that told you 2 years ago when they tore it all down, I go, this is fun. And while people were just worried about the wins and the losses, I love the art of rebuilding a football team and how to get to a championship. And I love how they have built this thing from scratch, from inside out. They found their coach. I believe they found their quarterback. I understand that not as many people are convinced about the quarterback as maybe they are about Flo. I think going into year 3, I think Flo's won most people over pretty much. I think a lot of people are like, hey man, even outside of the Dolphin Nation, I think outsiders are going, that's one of the young and up and coming coaches in the NFL. Many have said that. I've heard them say that. So I know Flo's kind of convinced a lot of people. Tua has not. I think some of you that you weren't convinced, you're starting to feel a little better from what you've seen in the preseason, and that's all understandable. But I will say this, when we talk about the preseason game on Sunday, it's lost some flair knowing that Tua is not playing, right? And listen, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, this is a terrible decision." I said it from the get-go right after that game early this week. I said I wouldn't play Tua against Cincinnati. I don't need to see anymore. Now, I am much more convinced about what Tua is going to be than a lot of other people. I've already told you for a couple of years now, the only thing I've ever been concerned about with that young man is the injury history. I never, ever, ever, ever for 1 second doubted that he can play at this level, that he can excel at this level, that he can win at this level, right? So he is so inspirational to what's going on in this turnaround with the Miami Dolphins that you have to admit, if you're on the chat board, you want to email me at Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com at any time that you're listening to the podcast. You know, whenever you're listening, send me the answer. Tell me if you agree with me or not. You got to admit, we're all hardcore Dolphin fans. People that are on this chat board are not normal sports fans. They're hardcore sports fans. People downloading the podcast, it's because you're a hardcore sports fan and a hardcore Miami Dolphins fan. So we're all going to be watching on Sunday, right? We're going to be watching because several of the young offensive linemen are going to play. Probably Jesse Davis is not. But the good thing is you've got Greg Little. You've got the Larnell Coleman young man. It looks like Eichenberg's not going to play because he got banged up again. But at least a lot of the young players are going to play on the line, which that's important to all of us to see a little bit of that. And then see some of the other young guys that they have on this team. Igbenogany needs to get, X is not going to play. Byron Jones shouldn't play. Bro, number 9, roll him out there. Let's see what you can do. Joe Burrow's going to play. Hey, Pat Mahomes is going to play, which is, it's weird. That one I don't understand, but whatever. But you have to admit, you've lost a little sauce for the game on Sunday. Like those of us that are hardcore, we're going to watch because we care, we love it. But without Tua there, it just takes a little bit from the headlines of the whole thing. It kind of becomes, a little bit less of a headline, kind of like a local story now. You're moving away from the front page, that kind of stuff. That's the one thing, because obviously part of being a Dolphin fan and watching this turnaround is to finally figure out, do we have the predecessor, the guy that finally is ready to take over for Dan Marino? Because all we've ever done for years now, for over 2 decades, is we've put another guy in place and another guy in place. Is this the guy? Is this the guy? Is this the guy? And we've never found the guy. And we're all trying to find that guy. And that guy is Tua. And and some of us that aren't convinced, not me, but some of you out there that aren't convinced with the kid, you kind of needed this game too. Not that it was going to convince you, but just to add another little chapter to the improvement, to the trajectory headed upwards. Now we'll go into the regular season. For me, I'm fine with it. I got no problem, but I will admit, it takes away a little bit from the game on Sunday. It just does. Jacoby Brissett does nothing for me. Nice man, solid backup, Sometimes people ask me, "What do you think about the backup quarterback?" Well, listen, if we have to get to the backup quarterback, the season is over. You know, that's just the way it is. Brissett's been just a guy throughout his career. That's it. He had the chance to take that next step in Indy. He had every ample opportunity there to actually take that chance. Lots of opportunities there. And it was handed to him, and he was never able to take hold of the job, and they had to go out and search for more quarterbacks. So that question's been answered already. He's a solid backup. He'll help keep things afloat, but he's not a difference maker, and that's been the key, folks. See, Fitz could make a difference every once in a while. He could help out, but eventually he was also going to blow up. And it's like the Jack in the Box. You just kept cranking it, cranking it, cranking it, and eventually the clown comes out, and then eventually the bad throw from Fitz is going to get you in trouble. That's just the way it is. They haven't had any of those guys. Pennington wasn't a difference maker. What Pennington was a game manager, and a really smart one. He wasn't a difference maker. And that's what you've been doing for years now. We've all been doing it. We've been waiting for that difference maker. And hopefully Tua is that guy. And so that's why it kind of adds sauce to the game. Every preseason game, to be able to see number one, that's kind of, it's a feeling, man. It's a feeling that we're dying to have again, that when you go to the stadium, you have your guy. Because when you have that guy, you have a chance every week to win in the NFL. And that's the difference, that since Danny retired, they have not had that quarterback that you feel every game, that dude is the reason why we got a shot to win today. Get what I'm saying? And that's what Tua brings to the table, that kind of hope. And eventually, when he does cross that threshold, I think it will galvanize the fan base like it did in the past, like Greasy did for us, like of course Marino did for us, and hopefully Tua will be able to do it for us. But I got to say that's the one thing that when I'm thinking about the game on Sunday, that's where it's going to lose a little bit of its luster, that we have no Tua there.